Hey guys, Chizette Cowan here, team leader with the Intercross Consulting Group of Keller Williams. I'm in our growth studio in our new Tampa office and really just taking this time to use my YouTube channel to basically send information out to people that may have questions about different things. I know that the interest rates are really low at the moment. They're rising, but still lower than they have been in a long time. So I know a lot of people are trying to take advantage of this buyer's market, of the seller's market, because the interest rates are low. They want to bid on houses. They also want to be able to invest or get into the investor pool now because those interest rates are also down. So I wanted to just make sure that I'm using this channel efficiently to bring information. So today I want to talk about escalation clauses. I've had a lot of conversations with clients around escalation clause. What are they? Do we or do we not use them? Are they at an advantage to the buyer or not? Or do they put the buyer at a disadvantage? And I'm just going to share a little bit of information with you. I want to preface this by saying that, of course, every scenario is different. So it's not going to be a one catch-all answer for everything, but I want you to understand how to use the escalation clause, what it is, and how to use it at least. So an escalation clause allows you to basically escalate the price of your offer, right? Think about an escalator. It goes up based on whatever you put in. So in this market where clients are receiving, sellers got to be receiving. I have one lady, she had 140 offers on her property. Do you think they're really going to review all those offers? They're going to look at the ones that are most competitive. So an escalation says, even though I'm bidding $100,000 on this house, I do have the ability to bid higher. So should my purchase contract price get beat out by somebody that say bid 105, I am willing to bid more than that, your highest offer usually. I'm willing to bid more than 105, $1,000 more, let's say, and then they give you an amount. So I'm willing to bid $1,000 more than your highest offer, provided that highest offer is not more than 115. 115 is the max that I'm going to use on this escalation clause. Now, what that says to a seller is that this is an interested buyer, that their interests are heavy, that they're going to be easier to work with because they're willing to do what it takes to get the property. It does not take away your negotiation skills, and they don't always have to even be enacted. You may be the highest offer, at which point they're not going to execute the escalation clause because you're the highest offer. But you have to understand that in a market like today, where how do you get your offer to stand out from any other offer, there are some things that you can use. There are some tools, and I'm going to talk about some of those, but the escalation clause is one of them. And you'll find out that a lot of people will say, hey, bid your highest and best. So don't give us an escalation clause. Bring your highest offer at 1. And you can do that. But there are going to be times where the escalation clause is going to be appropriate. And it doesn't put the buyer on the hook for more than they want to be, because you're not going to pay more for the house than you believe it's worth anyway. But in a situation where there are other things that are motivating you, I think an escalation clause is something to consider. For example, my children go to school in a certain school district. We are looking for a house in a certain school district. We are willing to pay over market value for a house to keep our kids in the same school district. That's our motivation. So for me, it's always finding out what my client's motivation is. If the motivation is heavy, will the possibility of paying $10,000 more over losing the home, which weighs out heavier? And for me, I will pay $10,000 more to stay in the school district. There's nothing that would weigh heavier on me than that. I would not want to lose a house because I didn't offer to give an escalation clause, say of $10,000 more, to keep my kids in the same school district. This is something to consider. Now, if you're working with a realtor that's not somebody on our team or myself, you can have this conversation with your realtor and say, hey, tell me about escalation clauses. Tell me about the advantages, the disadvantages of them. Because I've had people say, hey, using an escalation clause puts me at a disadvantage because it automatically lets people know that I'm willing to pay more. It does, but it also gives you a basis to say that I'm a very serious buyer. Just because I'm willing to pay more doesn't mean I will. that contract has to be negotiated just like anything else. So don't think that escalation clauses are going to put you at a disadvantage and put the seller at a greater advantage. Sometimes it just is something that you use as a tool in the offer to get your offer accepted. I have used the escalation clause in the last maybe 4 weeks, 5 times. Never have we once had to actually enforce the escalation clause. We just used it as a means to get the business to win the bid, and we were able to do that. So I want to let you know that make sure you're using everything to your advantage in this market. There are a lot of things that can work for and a lot of things that can work against you. And having the escalation clause conversation with your realtor is something that I think that is going to be a good strategy to really get you into these homes. So don't get discouraged. Yes, it is a seller's market. Competition is fierce, but understand the tools that you have and that you can use to your advantage. Stay tuned to my channel. Please subscribe. If you're into real estate in any way, subscribe. I'm going to be adding videos here, and if you follow me on social media, I'm going to try to post snippets of them on social media as well. So I'm looking forward to doing business with you if you're in the greater Tampa area or in Connecticut. We service both of those areas. We look forward to doing business with you, and I am Cheesette Kyle, and have a good day.